Hello, Ms. Barrett. Thank you so much for waiting so patiently. Last time when you came to visit, we diagnosed you with celiac disease. How have things been going?
Things are going good. I'm doing well, but I am still experiencing some of the symptoms as I mentioned in my last visit. I am still experiencing weight loss and feeling tired during my daily activities.
Okay, let's talk about some changes you can make to relieve some of the symptoms you are experiencing. I'm going to ask you a few questions if that is okay.
Sure.
Prior to your first visit, do you have an understanding of celiac disease?
No, I don't.
Well, let me tell you, celiac disease is an autoimmune disorder most likely to occur if a family member has been diagnosed with celiac or if they have experienced any associated autoimmune disorders or other conditions such as type 1 diabetes, Crohn's, or irritable bowel syndrome. Do you know what happens to your body if you eat foods that are enemies of celiac disease?
No, I don't know what happens if I eat gluten.
When you eat gluten, which is a protein found in wheat, rye, or barley, your body begins to have an immune response that attacks your small intestine. The attacks in your small intestine will cause damage to the villi, which are the finger-like structures that line your small intestine. When the villi is damaged, nutrients such as vitamins and minerals cannot be absorbed properly in the body. To help you have a better understanding of celiac, can you tell me what happens to your body when you eat gluten-containing foods?
I understand that when I eat food products that contain gluten, my immune system wants to attack the lining of my small intestines and my villi gets damaged, which causes my body not to be able to receive and absorb the nutrients my body needs.
So let me explain to you some of the causes that can play into what happens to your body. Some of the causing factors can be genetics, environmental such as illness or inflammation, autoimmune, and exposure to gluten. Can you tell me some of the causing factors?
Some of the factors can be genetic based off my family history, exposure to the environment, which can be a lot of things, but some illness or inflammation can potentially lead to the cause of celiac, exposure to gluten, or an autoimmune response where my immune system automatically attacks my body.
Very good. It seems to me that you have an understanding of the causes and effects of celiac disease. Please allow me to show you some common foods that contain gluten. So some of the pasta, such as raviolis or dumplings, noodles, so white or wheat noodles that are made out of white enriched or wheat flour, noodles such as ramen, breads, and pastries such as donuts, muffins, or croissants, crackers such as pretzels or goldfish, baked goods such as cakes, cookies, or brownies. So most of everything has gluten in it. So if it's anything that is made out of white or wheat flour, it contains gluten in it. Breakfast foods such as pancakes, waffles, or biscuits, croutons such as stuffings, and also dressings that are made out of flour because sometimes the dressings include flour to be used as a thickening agent. Can you tell me what foods contain gluten?
Most everything has gluten. Some common foods are noodles made of durum or wheat flours made with enriched white or wheat flours, pastries such as donuts and bagels, crackers such as pretzels or goldfish, and flour tortillas. Most of these foods are made with flours containing gluten.
Very good. If you eat foods that contain gluten, are you aware of the symptoms?
Not really, other than fatigue and weight loss I experienced.
With celiac disease, the typical symptoms are gas in the stomach area, diarrhea or bloating, weight loss as you have mentioned, anemia if you're not receiving enough levels of iron, fatigue as you have mentioned, feeling tired, and having a foggy mind. Do the symptoms make sense from your body's response to gluten?
Somewhat. Can you explain a little more?
Sure. Since your villi is damaged, you may experience the fatigue due to possible anemia because your villi is unable to take in and process the nutrients from the foods that you eat. And you may experience abdominal pain due to the possible bloating and gas in your stomach. So the extra pressure on your abdomen can cause discomfort, leading to the abdominal pain that you experience. Does that make sense?
Wow, that makes sense. If my villi is damaged, my body cannot process the nutrients I need for my body to function properly, and that's why my body is experiencing those symptoms?
Exactly. As I am reviewing your diet history, you don't like to eat breakfast in the morning, but if you force yourself, you will grab Belvita cookies or a package of applesauce. You also mentioned that you don't really like to cook. Do you eat out often?
Yes, I do. I love eating out to avoid all the cooking.
What are some foods you like to eat?
I love to eat a lot of gluten. I generally go for a sandwich with bread, mac and cheese, or pasta with Alfredo sauce.
To my understanding, you love your gluten. With your recent diagnosis, we will have to make some changes and cut out the gluten and make some substitutions. Where do you like to eat?
I like to eat at Olive Garden, Wendy's, and Panera.
Okay, I can show you some alternatives at one of the restaurants you typically eat at. Which one do you visit very often?
Sure, probably Panera.
Okay, so we are looking on, this is a visual of Panera's website. Since most of what Panera has are gluten-containing foods that you eat, such as the sandwich with the bread made with gluten flour, the mac and cheese made with gluten flour, what do you usually order?
A bread bowl with soup and mac and cheese.
Okay, you can order a soup that does not contain flour or croutons or breadcrumbs. You want to be sure to read the ingredients on the menu of the item you are ordering, and I would recommend asking the cashier what gluten-free options do they offer. You can order the soup without the bread bowl and substitute the side of mac and cheese for a salad. Be sure to read or ask the ingredients of the salad. Avoid croutons and salad dressings with gluten-containing ingredients such as flour because it can be used to thicken the dressings. You can also, here are some salad options, so you can order a Caesar salad with or without chicken. Just be sure to remove the croutons because those contain gluten in it. You can also basically order any of the salad options such as the Green Goddess Cobb salad with chicken because it does not contain croutons, and also be sure to ask for the ingredients of the salad dressings because some of the salad dressings do include flour to thicken the dressing.
What else should I be aware of?
I would be aware of cross-contamination since Panera is considered a bakery. I would be highly aware of the vegetables and salads and soups to somewhat contain gluten because the bakers making the bread and pastries can be throwing flour around while making those food items and may come in contact with the other non-gluten ingredients.
Should I ask the employee making my salad to change their gloves?
Oh, absolutely. I would highly recommend that. So you are aware Panera is not a gluten-free facility, so most of their foods may contain gluten because of the cross-contamination occurring while workers are preparing/baking the gluten-containing products, mostly the breads. But I wanted to suggest potential gluten-free options when you eat out.
That makes so much sense. Thank you for all of the helpful information. I never thought about the cross-contamination.
Another thing to be aware of are places where cross-contamination can occur. When the workers prepare the soups, they can cross-contaminate by using colanders or soup containers that have previously been used to prepare, cook, and store gluten-containing soups. Workers share the utensils, which causes the non-certified gluten-free soups with gluten-free ingredients to come in contact with gluten. Other things can be the storage containers used to store bread or breadcrumbs, could be washed and used to store romaine lettuce, which is naturally gluten-free. Just so you're aware, cross-contamination is a huge problem for individuals with celiac disease.
What are some recommendations to avoid this problem?
You did mention that you don't like to cook. I would recommend learning how to read food labels that don't contain gluten while you grocery shop.
How can you tell if a packaged food is gluten-free?
So when you look at the package, you want to be sure that it says certified gluten-free. So if it has a label that says certified gluten-free, then you are good. But if you look at a food label and it says, what is the first ingredient?
Enriched wheat flour.
So if it contains wheat flour, then it has gluten in it. And also, such as the pretzels, what is the first ingredient?
Enriched wheat flour.
So if it does have wheat flour, then it does contain gluten in it.
Wow, I did not realize how much gluten can be included in so many foods and how some foods may contain hidden sources of gluten. It is good to know what to looking for, like certified gluten-free label on food product, and to read the ingredients thoroughly.
Do you have any questions for me, Ms. Barrett?
No, I think mostly was covered in the majority of my questions.
Ms. Barrett, thank you so much for coming in today. Please feel free to call the nurse if you have any questions.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, bye.